Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mingby and I. My name is Mandy and I am a full-time reseller. On today's video, it is my What Sold Wednesday video, so I will go over my sales for, what was the week? So I will go over the sales for November 25th through December 1st. Before I start that though, I did want to pop up my Christmas tree. There were a couple people that were invested in what I decided to do. I kind of went away from the ornaments that were flocked just because I couldn't find them cheap enough. I will keep my eyes out at the end of the season and maybe I can get some of them for a little bit cheaper for next year. But I did find some emerald green bulbs that almost have something that looks kind of like a netting type design over it. Not a whole bunch of sparkle, thankfully. I am not a huge fan of sparkle. I like the way that it looks, like the glitter, but I hate that it gets everywhere. So I try my best to find items that do not have the glitter on them. And then I did go with plain white poinsettias. Instead of buying the ones that are individual with the little clips on them, I actually went over to the area in Walmart where they have like their floral arrangements, the fake flowers, and I got a whole like clump of them in the picks. And I think it was like 3 something and there were 5 maybe on there, and then I just snipped them and put them in the tree. Easy as that. And then to save a little bit more money, I went to look at the tree skirts. Anything that kind of caught my eye was like in the $20 to $30 range, which I just did not want to pay. So once again, I kind of thought, okay, how can I get this for cheaper? So I went over to the fabric section. They have pieces of, you know, kind of leftover fabric, or you can buy the ones that are like 1 yard, 4 yards for a certain amount. I found just a thing of, I believe it was almost like a jersey knit white fabric. I think it was $4. It fits around the bottom perfectly. And then I also did want to just say thank you to everyone that reached out in my last video. I do feel a little bit better. I know that there's always going to be kind of this weird feeling going into the future, not knowing what's going to happen. I took some time to just kind of sit down and figure out what my schedule is going to be, write everything down. That always helps me when things get a little chaotic and I feel like there's just, you know, things that are kind of happening all over the place. If I can write down what I can do, what I need to get done, that kind of helps me stay grounded. So I'm going to continue doing that, work on journaling. That always helps me too, to just kind of write feelings out. It definitely made me feel better to like say all of that out loud and know that I am not alone in feeling those feelings. Just looking at the comments, there seem to be a lot of people that have a similar feeling to me for the future. So not saying that that's great that we all feel that way, but it's always, you know, a little bit comforting knowing that you're not alone in how you're feeling about that. I'm also going to try meditating. That's something that I did a while back. I think that'll help. I hear great things from a lot of people that do meditation, so I figure it can't hurt. And then I also need to kind of get back in a routine with exercising. Moving your body always makes you feel better. And it's something that I kind of forget when I stop going to the gym or stop using the stuff that we have down here is, you know, you get kind of in this like frumpy time frame where it's like, nah, I don't want to do it. And then that turns into a couple days, then it's a week you haven't done it, then it's a month. So I need to get into some sort of routine now, especially now that it's colder. When it's warmer out, you know, I'm more apt to going outside with my dog and walking around and doing whatever. But now, like today, I think it was like 19 degrees over the weekend. It was like down to 9. So leaving the house, getting outside the house is not always something I want to do. So I need to figure out a way to keep myself motivated here with the little home gym that we have. But if you were not there for that life update, let's see what I wrote down for this week. Mercari was kind of slow. On Poshmark, I sent 30% off offers on Black Friday. I don't remember if I got any sales. I feel like it was pretty busy, like Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Saturday, and then yesterday was pretty quiet. eBay, I ran a 55% off sale on old inventory. That started Wednesday night until Friday night. I think I got 3 sales with that, which was fine. You know, I've been hearing that it is, you know, good to run sales. It gets more people in your store. I also think it helps with the algorithm because it shows that, you know, you're willing to get things moving in there. You're getting more traction in your store. And then the more sales you have, the more sales it will bring you. That's just what I'm hearing for the algorithm with eBay. So I am definitely willing to try that. That is something that I am definitely going to be working on in the new year. Since I have been going through my inventory, I have noticed that there are a lot of items in there that should be gone by now. And I think it's due to pricing or me not taking offers when I should have, and now they've been sitting. So I need to work on not being like emotionally attached to some items. It's not everything I have in my closet or store, it's just some of it. And I'm going to sit down, figure out what I want to work into for sales, especially with eBay, because you can run, any percentage off sales or free shipping or whichever you want to do. But I'm going to treat it more like a store. I don't want things in my inventory for more than a year. To me, if they haven't moved in a year, unless it's some sort of like specialty piece that's like one of a kind that you need the specific buyer for, to me that, it should be gone by then. So I'm going to run mine similar to a store when they do deep discounts, depending on the time of the year, how long the item's been there, to just, get things out. And then for Depop, I don't think I had anything going. There might be a couple things right now that are 20% off or something like that. I can't quite remember. This week I'm not going to run any sales just because I think people have shopped quite a bit. I will send offers, as they come in, as people like things on Poshmark or eBay, but I'm not going to run any sales. So I will scoot over and pop up my listings here. Okay, so starting on Poshmark, this was a Harley Davidson plus size pearl snap plaid top, women's 2XL. I got this at the thrift store on 80% off. I'm assuming I probably paid like $2 for it. It did go for an offer of $15. I got this at the bins last, probably like February-ish. This was super cool. This was handmade from what I could tell. It was a matching, like maybe maxi length skirt, midi potentially skirt with a matching vest, and it's all like rodeo Santa Christmas print. So I think someone's really gonna have a great time in this outfit for like an ugly Christmas sweater party, or if you have, I don't know, like a rodeo Christmas or something like that. It was pretty cool. It had traditional Christmas on it, and then it also had like little cowboy hats and cowboy boots. So this one I had listed originally for $60. Just because I wasn't really sure, like items like this, I do tend to list a little bit high and then anticipate to take offers just because there wasn't anything for me to compare this to. Someone offered me $45. I figured that was fair. We are in December now and I didn't want to hang on to this for a whole nother year. This, I don't know if someone would be looking for this, in summer, spring. So I did let this go for $45. Next up is a Nirvana shirt. This one is the print from 1992. If you look at the bottom of the smiley face there, it did have the date. I don't believe that the shirt was from 1992. The tag was cut, so that didn't help me any in being able to date it, but it was double stitched. Normally anything from the 90s is going to be single stitch, and this one was not. This did go for an offer of $20. This Dominique bra I got the same time I got all those other kind of shapewear type bras. This one sold the same day, full asking price of $30. So this is definitely a brand that I am keeping my eye on. This was a pair of Carhartt suspenders. They were a bigger size 52. If I find these at the bins or for really cheap at a thrift store, I'll pick them up just because they move pretty quickly. These did go for an offer of $16. This was a vintage mountain t-shirt with a deer on it, like a big buck. This one was from 1999. It did have a small hole in the armpit. It'd be very easy to repair if someone wanted to. And it did go for an offer of $15. This was a bins pickup. I've been trying out different sizes, styles in American Eagle jeans. I see quite a few resellers say that they have luck selling jeans and it doesn't matter really what the style or size is. I found these at the bins. Figured it would be, an easy one to try. They were a smaller size, so they didn't weigh very much. They were a size 2. They were skinny and distressed. These probably sold in like about a month for $16. These are a pair of vintage Abercrombie & Fitch pants. They were corduroy size 8, low rise. They laced up in the front. They had those really teeny tiny pockets. This I got at Goodwill on clearance for $1.99, and it did go for an offer of $20. This is Jane and Delancey. This was a button front striped shirt with a Boston Terrier print all over it. Anything that has dogs or cats, I normally pick up just because that's something that people are looking for, especially if it is like a certain breed. This was an extra large and it did go for an offer of $20. These pants I had in the booth that I rented. I have two of the exact same pair, one in a 28 and one in a 29. When I was doing my inventory, I know I found the 28 pair, so someone had offered me 40 on these, and I accepted it, and I went looking for it in my inventory, and I could only find the size 28, and I was like, oh my god, please tell me I did not send these to ThredUp or something after that booth. So I had to go outside and like tear apart all of the bags I have for my garage sale. Thankfully, these were still in there. I was just going to put them in there first before ThredUp. So thankfully I had them, and they went for $40. Next up is Brooks Brothers. These were performance style shorts. I didn't know that they even made these, like this type of shorts. They came in a Quick Lots box, probably, I don't even know. I feel like I haven't gotten one of those in quite a while. They were new at tags, a size 31. It did go for my full asking price of $30. This was a vintage Carhartt button front shirt. This I probably paid full price, I'm guessing, at Goodwill, like around $6.99. Going forward, I will not be doing that. I will pay up for the jackets or like the heavier weight flannels. But if they're just plain like this, these seem to be sitting for me and not moving very well. This was also a size 2X, and it did go for an offer of $24. This was a lot of vintage Ninja Turtle VHS tapes. This was in my rummage sale. My mom's friend had it in there. I gave her $1 for all of them. It was, I think, the 3 like live action, if you will, Ninja Turtle movies from the 80s and then, or late 80s, early 90s, and then 3 cartoons. And this did go for my full asking price of $30. Beatles shirt from 2006 I picked up at the bins probably close to a year ago. It was in my bin to go to Plato's. I almost delisted it, and someone offered me $18, which is great because on Mercari you get to keep all the money since there are no fees. And then this one, LuLaRoe, I know not everyone sells this. A lot of people are like, I would never ever pick it up for resale. I am very, very strategic in what I pick up. Shoes have done well for me in the past. Denim has done well for me in the past. And then any type of cardigan, long cardigan, or dress that it's in a bigger size that could potentially hit other markets other than just like a LuLaRoe normal buyer, those I will look into. I definitely look up the style name and the size and see what the sell-through rate is. Some are sought after, some are not. So definitely, I'm not saying, go pick up everything from LuLaRoe because I don't. I wouldn't. I know there are people that do okay selling it, but like I said, I'm very strategic in what I pick up. This was picked up at the bins. I did have it listed for $28. This was another one that the closer we were getting to Christmas, I needed to get rid of this because it did kind of have a Christmassy feel. So it did go for $18.20. Next up is Universal Thread. This one came from that place where everything was 50 cents. It did go for an offer of $15, so this has paid for that entire box of clothing that I got that day. Vanity Fair slips. I am starting to slow down a little bit on these unless there is something that is a little bit more intriguing with them. This one was a different type of color. You don't normally see this pink color. It did go for an offer of $15. I picked this up at the bins. It probably only weighed 3 ounces. I got a whole bunch of these at the same place where everything was 50 cents. These were $1 at the time. I have quite a few of these little jogger sets for boys and girls. I think I have Puma ones, or are they all Champion? I think they're all Champion. This was a boys 14-16, and it did go for full asking price of $16.99. Simply Vera Wang, this is another brand that I wouldn't say go and buy everything. Certain items from this brand sell for me. These pull-on pants do well, trench coats do pretty well, and some of the dresses. You definitely need to make sure you're looking at comps. These I picked up because I think I got both of them for $1 each. They were new with tags, a size small petite, which I was like, ooh, I don't know, it's a pretty small size, but they were the pull-on comfort skinny pants. These did end up going for an offer of $22 and probably sold within 4 months. This I picked up at the Goodwill bins quite a while ago. This was a vintage toy. I guess you could say, that is meant to stick on, I think, a car window, and then you can pump the little pump that it has, and then it makes him like moon somebody. That's why his name is Seymour Buns. I had this listed originally for $29.99. At the time, comps kind of were around there. This one did go for my 55% off sale, so it did go for only $13.50, which is fine. I think my average cost of goods that day was around $2, so I definitely made my money back. So it's things like this that I've had for quite a while, that if I can, you know, move it out and still make close to $10, I am totally fine with doing that. This was part of a Pyrex collection that my mom gave me to sell. This was a Cinderella mixing bowl. This one, it did go for my full asking price of $22.99. These Current Mood jeans, I thought these were going to do better. They kind of had like these cool tribal marks on them. This was another one that was getting ready to be taken out of inventory to go to Plato's Closet. I'm glad I waited, because these did end up going for an offer of $25. This was another item that was getting ready to be pulled and like just donated or sent somewhere. This is Tara and Sky, a size 3X. This one, was it new? Pre-owned. It wasn't even new with tags. I should not have picked this up. I think I originally had this when I was still doing live plus size shows. So this is another one I threw on the 55% off sale, so it did only go for $9. These universal thread overall jumper denim type thing, when I first listed this, probably, when was that? Sometime in summer, I think. I had a lot of interest, and I probably should have taken offers at that point, but I didn't. So this one also went on the 55% off sale for $12.60. This is a pair of Chico's velvet pants. This is the perfect time to sell these. A lot of women like to wear these to like winter weddings, church, you know, family gatherings for the holidays. This was a size 3, so an extra large, and these did go for an offer of $25. This clock, I can't remember if I showed you guys in that vintage haul that I did. This is working. I did plug it in and everything. It had quite a few cosmetic defects though. There's some paint on it. There's some scratches all over it. But this is from the 50s. And this one did end up going for my full asking price of $30.99. Another item from the vintage haul, this was that match holder. It had fruit and it had a fruit design on it. This one did go for an offer of $13.58. Now on to Depop, a couple sales over there this week. This dress I actually picked up at the bins. I brought it home and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should have picked this up. I wasn't exactly sure what keywords I was going to use for it, but I'm glad I did, because this one ended up going for an offer of $24 and probably sold within about a month. Next is a Miami Ink shirt. This came from that horrible vintage t-shirt lot that I got like last winter, I think it was. I think I only have like 2 shirts left from that. Everything else I have either donated or gotten rid of somehow. This one did end up going for an offer of $20. This is a Secret Treasures top, which I believe is from Walmart. This wasn't on a vintage tag from there. That didn't mean anything to me, that brand. So for the title on this one, I pretty much just stuffed it with keywords. I have feminine floral rose, watercolor romantic, ethereal, lace trim, plus size, open front. That's what my title was. And then I just made sure to take pictures to show that it did open in the front. This one did end up going for an offer of $20. This one actually kind of surprised me. As I've been doing inventory, I've been looking through where I have each item listed. Since I've had Flip, you didn't always have Depop available. So there are still items that I am putting over there. Same thing with eBay. I wasn't a huge eBay seller, probably, I don't know, like a year and a half ago. So I don't have everything over there, especially if it's older. As I've been doing inventory, I've been looking and kind of just putting things where I think that they could go. This one I thought, you know what, I'll just try it on Depop and see what happens. I'm glad that I did, because there was like zero interest on any other platform. And this one ended up going for $32. And this one sold within a month of putting it out there. Next is a Lululemon top. I've been putting that on Depop as well. It has been getting interest over there, Lululemon pieces, so I figured let's see if this will work. It was a men's small, which, you know, is a little bit harder of a move, but this did sell very quickly for $30. Next up is a Mix-It top. I believe this is like a 2000s brand. It was plus size, a size 2X, which you don't always see. So anytime I find these style-based, like, boho, girly, Britney Spears-ish type tops, and they are plus size, I will get them just because I think there is a market for that because you don't always find it in the plus sizes. This one ended up going for $25. And then the last sale for the week was this like graphic front shirt with different gangsters from TV and movies playing poker together, like Scarface, The Sopranos, Goodfellas, I think is on there. This one I had listed for 22 and someone did offer me 17. I had quite a bit of interest on Depop, lots of people sending offers. No one paid until this person finally did for 17. So my totals for the week: Poshmark $291 for 12 items sold, Mercari $66.20 for 3 items sold, eBay $317.51 for 12 items sold, and then Depop $168 for 7 items sold. So my gross sales for the week were $842.71. After all fees and average cost of goods are taken out, that leaves me with $530.52. So going into next week, I am still trying to finish inventory. I'm hoping to get that done this week. I have purged quite a bit. I know I did that last year too. So that's another thing I'm going to definitely be working on this upcoming year is, number one, making sure that things I'm bringing home are not damaged to the point that I cannot repair. Because sometimes I think like, oh, I can try and do this, and it ends up turning into an issue where I can't and I have to damage it out. Or I need to take more time when I'm especially at the bins, to really look things over. There's a lot of times where I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. I want to come home, and then I come home and look at it under the light and it's, has a hole in it that I can't repair or a stain I can't get out. So that's definitely somewhere that I can recoup some money because I'm, definitely losing money that way. Also with that, I'm probably going to do a video the beginning of the year kind of going over, my goals and what I'm going to be doing. But another thing I'm probably going to give up is mystery boxes. That is another thing I am finding a lot of items that I am getting rid of are from those mystery boxes. And for the most part, the mystery boxes, the average cost of goods is higher than when I go to the bins. So that, just business wise, that does not make sense for me to continue doing that. I could definitely do it once in a while, but not at the rate that I had been doing it. So that's another thing I'm kind of looking at. I am excited to go to Plato's though. I think they are going to buy quite a bit that I have. And with Plato's, before I used to pick up, a lot of really low tier brands like Shein, they really like Fashion Nova, all that stuff. Now that ThredUp does not take those brands anymore, I'm kind of changing my way with Plato's as well. I know certain styles in those brands, they always take. So that I don't have a problem picking up, but when I'm kind of like, oh, maybe they'll take this Shein dress and I'm not really sure, I'm probably going to leave that behind and go for not really like mid-tier brands, but like Levi's. Those seem to be sitting for me in my closets and stuff. Plato's always takes that and I get, decent money for that. So Levi's I will probably always send to them, including like 501 shorts. Lulu's, I will not pick that up anymore to sell myself, but Plato's will take that. They'd give a decent payout. So I'm definitely going to try and rethink what I'm doing for Plato's so that A, my payouts will be bigger with Plato's, and B, there'll be less items that they don't take, because if I have a whole bunch of these really low tier brands, I've sent them there a couple times, now what do I do with them? I can't send them to ThredUp. I don't have a bunch of room to keep them for a rummage sale, so it's just like I have to donate them back at that point. So they're gonna have to be more brands that ThredUp will take. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about for the Plato's situation. It's also nice that I'm doing inventory because I'm getting rid of just stuff that, I don't want anymore. I'm tired of relisting, delisting it. That makes me feel a little bit lighter. It's giving me more space. I do have some ideas for my inventory room that I think I can get another shelf in there. That will help because right now I feel like it's kind of just pouring into different rooms. That makes me feel like claustrophobic in my own house and I don't like that. Thought of the idea of getting a storage unit, but I really don't want to add the overhead money for that. I have a feeling that if this was somewhere else other than my own home, I don't know that I would still be doing same day shipping depending on, what I had going on that day. Storage units seem to be pretty expensive here, especially if you want something climate controlled, which it would have to be because I am someone that does sell, you know, some electronics, some shoes. That needs to be in somewhat of a climate control. You don't want shoes and stuff sitting in humid weather that can ruin them. So as of right now, I am trying to condense and just kind of use the space that I have the best way that I can, because that would be a, you know, a fairly large amount that I'd have to now be paying monthly. I don't foresee us buying a different house anytime soon, so I just kind of have to make this work. You know, ideally I would like to have some sort of like little storage shed type deal that I could keep all of my inventory in. If I could have, you know, all my stuff like my computer and stuff in some sort of controlled area, that would obviously be the dream. Right now we're not looking to buy until interest rates would come down. In our area, once a house is listed, it's like within a day, if not sooner, that house is gone. And we bought this place in 2017, so our interest rate is like 3%. So we're just not really looking to change that right now. So like I said, I just have to work with what I have. That is something else I have to work on, is getting this room cleaned up. I feel like there is a lot of stuff in here I have that does not need to be in here. That'll be a video for the new year when I purge through this room and just kind of get it a little bit more organized. It's always good to have your space be organized. I always feel a lot better when it is. Right now it's a little chaotic, and that's probably part of the reason why I'm feeling so stressed about things. So let me know in the comments below, did you guys run any sales for Small Business Saturday, Black Friday, what is it, Cyber Monday, anything like that? Was it successful or not? And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.